Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for popping on. We are in an event today with Miss Yadi's workshop and friends. So hop on in, friends. Hopefully you will come and join in. It is the Boo Bash, so super fun to be part of this event. Hello there, Miss Yadi. Gracias. Thank you for having me, my friend. All right. Now I kind of went literal with the boo and, was going with ghosts. So we're going to do that. And I hope that you guys will like what it is that I've decided to make. And we'll see how it goes. I am doing an actual little like shelf sitter instead of like a paper craft which you guys know is usually what I do, but that is I was like, why not? I have all these little things. I have some some vintage Halloween items, so I thought I could incorporate some of those, and we're gonna redo a surface. So I hope you guys like it. Hello there, Miss Yvonne. Hello there, Tracy Lynn. How are you? Welcome in, dear. Welcome in. Welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here on a Sunday evening. I did bring my clay out, but I don't think I'm going to do a ghost out of clay. So, alright, let me turn you guys down so you guys can see what I've got on. Thank you for all the shares and the sprinkles. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so I brought what I have left over of this candy corn sprig that I've used. I did grab one of these little ghosts, and then from the vintage items that I have this cute little jack-o'-lantern or carved pumpkin, however you want to look at him. We have this larger pumpkin, and then there was even this little ghost. He looks so cute. So and he's like all dirtied and everything else, but I think he's adorable, so we're going to use him. I do have this surface that we're going to repurpose. We're going to use this side of it instead of the white side, so we're going to work with that. Hello there, Miss Connie. How are you, Mama? Thank you for coming on this Sunday. I appreciate it. And well, vacation break, whatever, is over for me. We're back to school tomorrow. So after this I have to get ready for classes. Hello there, Miss Elizabeth. Welcome in, dear. Welcome in. So I'm just heating up so that I can pull these off, It makes it easier. It makes it easier. Hello there. Hello. How are you? White's Creative Designs. Welcome in, friend. Welcome. I do appreciate you all being here. And as always, I always forget to send out my Telegram. Go figure. Alright, so I do want to put a Halloween napkin background on this. So that is what I am planning on doing. And while I do have this napkin right here, which is really, it's a very cool napkin, I think it might be maybe too dark, and I feel like the pumpkins would get lost. So I'm gonna pull my pad out, my paper pads, and see if we have anything from there that would, you know, look a little better and not and not like take, oh, see, I like that. I like that marble effect. That is really cool. But I don't want to take away from, I don't want to distract from the items that we're using. As you guys can tell, I've already used this paper. I guess we could do some bats, right? That'd be kind of spooky. I know, it's a very cool napkin, isn't it? It's just, I'm like, I don't think that's gonna really cut it. And I wasn't quite sure. So I think we might need to go, I want to stay away from orange because the pumpkins are orange, right? What about if we do spiders? What do y'all think about that? It's kind of like this dark, spooky kind of background. That is kind of cool. The black and white dots. Black and white dots. Oh, the one that had to cut out. That was actually... Where'd it go? Where did you go? That one is actually ghosts. Those are ghosts. See? So, but I think the spider one will look the best. So we're gonna go with the spider one. Because I feel like that one is gonna give us that spooky vibe, but at the same time it's not gonna take away from my other little items that I want to showcase. So we are going to use the spiders. Did y'all get to see Miss Yadi's mummy? That was so cute. I thought that was just adorable. Alright, and I'm going to make myself some marks so that I kind of know where to cut. Bats. Okay, spider, paper. Yes, the spiders. No, the one in the book that had bats. No, the one in the book that had bats. Wait a second now. That one? Thank you for sprinkling some more. I appreciate that. So we have that one that has bats on it. And this one that has bats on it, but it's got the orange in. I don't want to take away from. And then we have white with black bats. White with black bats. Black with white bats. So which one do you guys think would look the best? So we have that one. It's a white background with black bats on it. We have a black background with white bats on it. We got spiders. Let me try to do it like this so you guys can maybe see both of them. What do y'all think? Miss Connie likes the spiders. She's like, spiders! Let's do the spiders. Okay. You like the spider one too? Yeah. I think it's got more of a vintage look to it. So we're gonna go with the spiders. And like I said, we're going to, I'm gonna measure. Okay, I'm gonna eyeball. That's my measuring, y'all. But I'm gonna give myself a little mark there. And a little mark on this side. And we're gonna trim this down. Hello there, my friend. How are you? I'm gonna remeasure this because I didn't calculate the hole. So, you know, we always say measure twice, cut once. Measure twice and cut once. You're better off measuring twice than cutting and then it don't work. So now we're going to grab that. So it should very closely, yeah, slip in. And then we can measure where we need to trim. So how's everybody's Sunday been? Hopefully everybody has had an actually maybe nice and relaxing Sunday. That'll work. I know some people use Sunday to do chores. Obviously, you know, go to church. You know, get things done around the house that maybe you needed to do and you can't do during the week because you're at work and stuff. So, what everybody end up doing today? Other than hopefully watching this awesome event. Right? Because hopefully everybody's watched the event. So I'm actually just going to stain this again, trying to add to that like dark vintage look. So I'm just going to grab a wipe and my antique wax. Hello there, Miss Donna. Welcome in, Donna Sue. Thank you for popping in. You did so many things, you didn't rest, so that's, well, yeah, it definitely is a good thing that you're off tomorrow, huh? Maybe you did all the stuff today because you knew you'd be off tomorrow, so you could rest. Well, other than your appointment. You know, appointments, not always very restful. So I know Miss Yadi will be off tomorrow. And she's super excited about that. And I can't blame you. I don't know what it is about Mondays, but and then, you know, Mondays are they always seem to be rough on people. And then in our case, the only day we teach is Mondays. So, yeah, it makes for very interesting days with the kiddos because they'll be grumpy from the weekend and everything else. And then again, you know, what kid really likes to go to school? I guess I was the only weirdo nerd that enjoyed going to school as a kid. I always found it so much fun to be able to go and learn. So I always loved it. So I'm using my brush because this wood up here is absorbing a lot, and it's not going to do a stain effect the way I want it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just paint it. Hello there, Miss Mary. How are you, my friend? So I am the last presenter in the Boo Bash event today with Yadi's Workshop and Friends. And thank you, Miss Yadi, for being accommodating. I love being in your events. It's just with me on Sundays, I have to be on later. It's really hard for me to do earlier during the day, only because it is the only day that I know for a fact that my husband will have, well, kind of off from not working Saturday night. So if we try to do anything, I want to make sure that I'm available for him. And then, you know, he gets ready to go into work at 6, so that's why I like to go on later. That way I know he's, you know, left the house and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, Miss Mary. That really makes me happy. I love to know that my friends are doing well. Talking about friends, I feel it's hard. My husband found out a few days ago that his best friend, I mean, he's the longest friend he's had. They've been friends since 3rd grade. He's in the hospital and he's not doing too well. So we've been praying for him, but we'll see. We'll see what the Lord has in store. So the sides are definitely going to be darker than what I wanted them to be, because I wanted them to be more like the inside and kind of just a stain. But with this absorbing as much as it is, so what I'll do is I'm going to come and I'm going to dry brush some white to try to kind of tone down the brown, because it's a little too much and I really didn't want it to be this dark of a brown. But sometimes you have to pivot, you know, when you have a surface or something that you're using that is not working out the way you expected it to. And that's I think one of the things that I like of being a crafter is that you've got to think on your toes, you know? Got to think on your toes. Got to be able to troubleshoot, which sadly a lot of this younger generation doesn't have a clue how to troubleshoot a problem. If they can't push a button or turn it off and turn it back on and it doesn't fix itself, or they can't figure it out with like a Google or something, they just give up. It's kind of sad though. It's something that's being lost for sure. Alright, so let's see if any of this will come off at all and give me more of that distressed look that I was hoping for. get it at the edge to come off. And that's good. I thought about like writing out boo with ghosts and stuff, but then I was like, no, I kind of want to make a little scene. So that's what we're doing. We are making a little scene, a little sign, a little thing to just have out and about on the shelf to decorate. You know, it's I agree with Miss Yadi, what she was saying, like if you didn't get your Halloween stuff back in August towards September, yeah, it's gonna be hard to find anything because everything is Christmas nowadays. And before we even get close to Thanksgiving, you know, we're gonna end up start seeing Valentine's Day stuff. You know, past Thanksgiving, it's like right after that, here comes all the New Year's and Valentine's, and it's like, yo, we haven't even got into Christmas yet. And it seems like every year they just keep on pushing it up and up. Like it's getting, you know, more and more to where they're doing it earlier and earlier. That's just me though, right? That's just me. That's what I think. I might be wrong, but that's what it feels like. It feels like it just gets earlier and earlier. And if you have gone into a Hobby Lobby, what is ironic is that Christmas is 50% off. I mean, it literally went from being, you know, out at full price to 50% off, and fall is still only 40% off. It's crazy. So it really is crazy. Like, I know that they say that as a creator, you know, you have to be so many seasons ahead. You know, you have to be like a season ahead, so that you're ready. And I get it if you are selling like at craft fairs and stuff, because you have to have enough stuff on hand. So that I can understand. That I can completely understand. But for the rest of us, for the rest of the world who maybe just comes to watch us because they enjoy watching crafters or want to get ideas to decorate their home, or maybe to do a fun project with, you know, the kids or something, they're not thinking, you know, a whole season ahead. They're in the moment. And I hate that we've lost enjoying and being in the moment of things, because everything has become commercialized. Absolutely everything. Okay, I want to make sure that I do. And I am going in wet, with this being paper, and it'll be fine, because this is a little bit of a thicker paper anyways, plus it's too narrow for me to get my iron in, so I really can't do the iron-on method. Hello there, Miss Margaret. Welcome in. Thank you so much for popping in, my friend. Welcome to the Boo Bash event in Yadi's Workshop and Friends group. It is a free group, guys, so if you guys are not part of it, you definitely need to join. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. Not at all. Yeah, I think we're gonna put him over there somehow. Alright, let me let me dry this, and then we're gonna get some. I am well. How about yourself? I really do hope that everybody is doing good. They totally bypassed Thanksgiving. You know, I've noticed that, and it is actually sad because of the commercialized world that we live in. We forget the importance of Thanksgiving and taking the time for gratitude, which is why I'm very grateful that a lot of the awesome ladies that host events will do like a gratitude type event, because we really need to learn to be so thankful. Just waking up, we are blessed to wake up, because not everybody gets that opportunity, you know. It's not all about, you know, the hours and hours of cooking and the food and stuff like that. It's about being grateful for everything that we have, and we really forget that. Let me grab a little bit of white so that I can, or off-white, so that I can dry brush that. Yeah, sadly it is forgotten, you know. Forget to be grateful, we forget to give thanks, and it is actually very sad, because that just adds more to the ungrateful society that we live in, you know, where we don't take others into consideration, where it's just all of it, right? Okay. Let me find a brush. I feel like I don't have enough brushes. What's up with this? Okay, so I just added a little bit of water because this is kind of thick, and I don't need it to be that thick, or at least I don't want it to be that thick. It's starting to get cold and at night, and I really feel for all the poor animals that have to be outside, and all the homeless people. That just breaks my heart thinking of that. And we take for granted that we have our beautiful warm homes, you know, and so many don't have that. Never been a huge fan of dry brushing. I feel like I can never do it right. I always feel like I end up adding too much, but it's okay. It's alright. Hello there, sweet Mandy. How are you, my friend? Okay, so we've got that. So remember, we have the one big gourd. This one right here was part of like a pick or something, I guess. So we're gonna have to take that apart. And actually, I'm going to try to trim these in half so that they'll sit flatter. So let's do a little surgery. We're gonna do a little surgery and hope we can do this, because these are a plastic resin, so we'll see how that goes, because that could happen. Luckily that's on the back side. You know what, let's be smart about this. And well, if my thing decides to work, we'll try to warm it up a little bit. So what plans does everybody have for this upcoming week? I know one of the things that I will be doing is trying to get caught up with making sure I have plenty of Halloween candy for the trick-or-treaters. Because I don't know if you guys get a lot of trick-or-treaters where y'all live, but we sure do. We get a whole lot of them. So I know when we were moving into here, we asked, hey there, Miss Colleen, how are you? Y'all, Miss Colleen, you and your painting skills, my dear. You just are an amazing artist. Now painting, that would be something I would love to learn. I just don't have the eyes for it, or the hand. I don't know. I don't have something for it. So but your little snowman that you did in yesterday's event, and that is actually the thing that you were doing, that's actually for coffee, and so it had the hooks for the little it almost reminds me of like for Turkish coffee, where it's very stout, so you use tiny cups, because I've seen them where they're in different, like in a container where you have like a little spout on it. You do have some that come to your community, just not a whole lot of them. Yeah, we get a good bit. I mean, a good bit. Like in the hundreds. They come. They literally bring them in by the truckload. So, yeah. We learned real quick the first year we moved here that we were going to need a lot of candy. So, that is something that I will be working on, procuring some more let's see if I can get some more candies. I'll be working on that, hopefully. I know that a lot of people, depending on where you are, you don't go out into the community, and I know that that's why a lot of churches do their like little trunk or treats and stuff of that nature, because I remember I used to take the kids to those all the time. because they like that. And it was a safe place, right? So I did enjoy, and I love having the little kids that come around in their costumes. And I always post in our group, in our for the neighborhood, to remember that the teenagers, you know, they're kids too, and honestly I would rather they be out trying to get candy than they be out trying to do something else. So, and I think the kids have realized that, so they come to our house. I think they learned real quick that I'll very quickly give them, where did my other X-Acto knife go to? That I will very quickly give them a whole bunch of candy. So, and I love seeing when the older siblings have the younger siblings with them. I think it's the sweetest thing ever. Ah! Never mind, that one doesn't have a thing. Okay. And I needed this to work, but it's not working today. They are kids, and you know, wouldn't you prefer to know that your kid is out doing that than maybe vandalizing or drinking or drugs or who knows what? Because Lord knows they'll do that. There's so much stuff out there that they're exposed to. I feel so bad for them. I don't know, it just seems it's worse now than when we were kids. Alright. Not perfect, but it'll work. I just gotta get this one little piece off. I need to get a new heat tool because my heat tool decides when and when it doesn't want to work. See, now that's going to fit better because it's going to fit flat. So I like that more. And we do have the other half which we could use if we needed a second one. So we could do that. And then again, I do want to cut that one down. Alright, so where did that, we're going to decoupage my ghosty with this napkin since I really like it and I want to use it. So we're going to use this napkin with it. And I'm cutting it with all of the plies because it's a lot easier to cut it now rather than later. Okay, remember we gotta remove all of the plies. Let's make sure I don't have any more. I don't think so. Okay, and we're gonna put regular glue on here. Guys, if you missed any of today's presenters, you really need to go back and watch. Everybody did really well. I know that I was kind of quiet for some. But I do love being part of events, and I'm very grateful that Miss Yadi and also Miss Yvonne will work with me for my wonky schedule. Of course, within reason, but I do appreciate that. So less than 2 weeks, huh? And we'll be in the month of gratitude. And I'm excited for that. Okay. So I kind of want to get the spider here. So I'm going to bring him down. And if he wrinkles, that's fine, because, I mean, he is a ghost. He's supposed to be a sheet, right? So he'll be fine if he wrinkles up a little bit. Set that to the side. Let's see if I can get this warm to where I can possibly, hopefully, trim it easier. We'll see how that goes. Because now it's nice and soft. So hopefully I can get in here. Yeah, so much easier. Of course, it would help if I had a sharper blade, probably. Alright. Yep, it probably would help if I had a sharper blade. I just don't know where my other one is. That's probably what the problem was with the other one. I don't know about this, but we'll try this one. Y'all, the difference of a sharp blade. It's cutting like butter. So I got half of it. Let's see if I can get the top to warm up for me. You know, make sure you always have a sharp blade. No matter what you're working with. You know, we always would teach the kids that a dull knife is a dangerous knife. A sharp knife is actually better. And that is because with a dull knife, you'll be pushing and pushing and pushing and using your strength, and if it slips, you're more likely to do damage. So, keep your blade sharp. At all times. So that, I'm going to have to replace that one. Alright, so now that I have my gourd, I think I'm going to do the one that's looking that way. So we'll do this one. And I do like it like that. And I'm going to put this ghost up here. And then this one, let's go ahead and quickly, and sorry for the noise, I know that some people don't like the noise of sanding. It really normally doesn't bother me, so I don't think about it, but I know that for some people is aggravating. Okay. And because there's some really small areas, I am going to do the burn method. And that is when you let it burn on the edges, and it's going to burn up to where your wood is. And I actually kind of like the look of it, especially for this ghosty, because it kind of gives it a charred look. Like this ghost is coming from someplace that maybe we don't want to mess with. Alright, make sure that we've got all the edges. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for the middles here. And get those eyes. And get that mouth. There we go. Alright. And then again, I'm just going to kind of wipe away some of the charring. And so there I got my very spooktacular ghost, right? He's very spooky looking. And he's gonna go on right in here. I do want his eyes to kind of go into the darkness right there. Maybe I want to put a piece of black behind it, actually. Now that I think about that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's glue a little piece. You love the ghost. Yeah, I think adding the dark eyes in the background, I think, is really gonna add to it. So let's glue this on. That way, like I said, I think it's gonna look really cute with the little kind of with like the dark sunken in. I think that's gonna look really, really cute. Sometimes we don't think about it, but it's like the small little details like that. See, so now, right, now we see the dark eyes pop in there. So I think that's pretty cool. Alright. Again, I'm trying to go for the vintage look, right? So we are going to find where my brown is. Oh, that's not brown, that's black. I guess that is the brown. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate that. And yes, you can totally use your distress oxides on wood. use it on wood, you can use it on paper. So I don't want to take too much of the char away, but I do want to kind of cover up a little bit. But this is the main area where I want it to look distressed, so that's going to go there. We are going to make our little guy here look like he's older than what he is. I mean, he's already vintage, he's already old, but we're going to dirty him up a little bit. Do the same thing with the other half of him. Just get that subtle darker on there. Same for this right here, so it's not such of a bright orange. And then we could even do it on this fabric. You see how it gives it that old look to it? I mean, this was already old to begin with, but we just enhanced its age, right? We just enhanced its age a little bit. And I think that's gonna look super cute once it's all put together. So thank you so much for having me. All I'm going to be doing right now is just gluing everything on. So thank you, Miss Yadi, for hosting this fun event. Thank you for always being so open to having me join your events. I love being part of them. Where is my wood glue? I want my wood glue. Well, that's because I'm grabbing everything but my wood glue. Dollar Tree wood glue, guys. That's all. Dollar Tree wood glue. Nothing too overly fancy, but it works great. So yeah, have a wonderful week as well. Enjoy your off day. I hope that you actually rest, seeing as you didn't do that too much today. And again, thank you so much for hosting these events. Thank you to everybody who's popped in today. I really do truly appreciate it. Again, we are just putting the final touches on my little sign, which I think did end up coming out super cute. Okay, so let's start with this one that's over here. You do wonderful, but yes, try to rest, my friend. Try to enjoy your day off. I know we need to work because we gotta pay them bills, but we only have one life and we must enjoy how precious it is. Thank you. I think it's gonna look cute up on my shelf. So I'm excited. I haven't done a sign in so long that I was excited to do something like this, because again, I haven't done one in a really long time, because I've kind of been doing more of just my paper crafts. But yeah, I need to break it up every once in a while and do some of these decor pieces. So and I'm just holding it down a little bit because you guys know E6000 does not dry instantly, so just giving it a little bit of a hold. But again, thank you so much for hosting the event. Thank you for having me. And guys, if you are not following Yadi's Workshop and Friends, it is a free group. You definitely need to come and join and watch all of the amazing presenters on there. There's events pretty much weekly, and they're free to watch, free to be inspired by all of these awesome creators that are out here. You know, lovely, beautiful people that just have, you know, the most creative side to them. So thank you again for having me. And then our little ghosty over here, I don't think E6000 is gonna cut it for him, so I've got my 3-in-1, and I'm hoping that that'll be enough, and not that I have to use my glue. Not that I have to use that. So we shall see. But yeah, these were all everything but the surface, obviously the paper, this and this ghost, but my pumpkins and this little ghosty guy came from a vintage lot that I got, and they're like old. Thank you, Miss Colleen. I appreciate it. That's gonna need hot glue, so I'm gonna need to turn this guy on, because this is not wanting to stay. That is not wanting to stay. Alright, and I'm gonna have to do it with that. So this will end up getting glued down, and this will end up being my little sign. Let me turn the camera over this way. So it's gonna look like this, and it's gonna be cute and just something fun to sit down on my little shelf. Maybe I'll put it next to my apothecary shelf that I have in the living room. That's the next thing I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be doing some potion bottles, because I've got some cute bottles that I want to turn into potion bottles, but I need to get mica powder. So thank you so much for being here, friends. I love you guys. Remember to be kind to one another, be kind to all of those that you encounter, because we never know what others are going through. Have a blessed week. And remember to be grateful for the little things, because we don't know, right? We forget many times. We get comfortable and we forget. So let's remember those things. I love you guys, and until I see you again.